Hello and welcome back. My name is Igor, I am QA engineer, and today I'm going to share with you another tip and trick for test automation. In today's episode we are going to write sign-up test with Playwright using Gmail API to fetch email and follow registration link. At the end we will have confirmation profile. And let's get started. So let's review what we have today. This is demo site where you can sign up, you will receive an email with verification link, you can follow it and confirm your account. Let me show you quickly. Let's say test, and we are going to paste our email. I have prepared test email for our episode, and let's generate password. Any random password would be fine. Let's paste it, and now we should receive an email with confirmation link. Let's check it out. So yep, this is our email, confirm your registration, and we need to follow our registration link. Usually you have some tweaks from API side which could support you with registration in your test, but what if you want to test real end-to-end scenario? Like you want to make sure that your production environment actually sends an email to the actual user and user can follow the link and be registered. Let's write it. But first we need to implement our Gmail authentication, as we want to fetch an email. So we are basically going to log into Gmail account and fetch all the users' emails. For that we need to open console.cloud.google.com. Welcome. So we need to create a project for the test user. Let's say you have a test user account and you want to receive an email to that account. Let's quickly create step by step what's needed. First, select a project. You need to create a new project, and new project, let's call it Gmail create. Next, we are waiting for the creation to be finalized. We are selecting our project. Next, couple of more things. First of all, we need to create new API authentication. For that we need to follow to authentication segment. We can search actually. In order to quickly navigate, let's search Auth, and we are switching to Google Auth platform. So we are on Google Auth platform. Let's get started. App name, let's call it just test Gmail. We will set our email, we will follow external, we are setting same email, we click finish. And first step out of 2 is ready. We have authentication. Next we need to actually create a client for OAuth. Application type, let's choose desktop application. Let's create it. And now what we need to do, we need to save authentication data on our laptop. Let's do it. Okay, it's there. Now let's search for Gmail API. We need in our project, we need to enable Gmail API. Just search it, and in product details click enable button and wait a little bit, and that's it. We are good to go. So 2 steps. First, turn on authentication OAuth, download the file with all the credentials. Second step is enable Gmail API, and we are done on Google side. Now let's switch to the code. Here we are going to install new Playwright. For that let's open a terminal, new terminal. Let's make a new directory and make dir. Let's call it test Gmail, and let's cd to test Gmail. Now we are going to open this folder test Gmail. we want to actually install Playwright. Let's install the Playwright as usual. Playwright installation information you can find on Playwright dev. Let's copy a command of installation. And also we are going to have all the default options here. And wait a little bit. Now, couple of more things. First of all, we want to have a TypeScript configuration file. For that, we are going to create tsconfig.json and let's use some configuration. I'm going to copy paste already existing one. It's just basic. We are going to compile all the code inside our root folder. And we will need it for our fetching our Gmail emails. Next, let's create a new folder. We will call it new folder. We'll call it utils. And inside utils, we can have, for example, Google. New file Google.js. And we need one more, we need Gmail. Gmail.ts. Alright, so what do we need to do? In order to use Gmail API, we need to pass OAuth. And for that, we need to get our token and refresh token. More about that you can read on Gmail API sources. And here is a brief description. Implement server-side authorization. You need to create client ID and client secret. That's what we did. And next, we need to handle authorization requests. It is one-time operation where you need to generate access token and you need to generate refresh token. Using that refresh tokens, you will be able to log in every next time when you run your tests. So let's get back to our code. And for Google.js, I actually have some code snippet which I'm going to show you. And let me guide you through, so not to waste your time. First of all, we are calling authorize method. Authorize method is checking if we already have our token in place, and load saved credential if exists. We are looking for token path. Token path in our case is token.json file, and obviously we don't have it now. And credentials path, it's credentials.json. We don't have it as well. Let's create credentials, and now we need to place our credentials.json file which we downloaded. I'm going to copy paste it here, paste, and let's see the name. Let's see credentials.json. All right, let's just rename it credentials.json, and let's get back. All right, we have credentials path. We are checking if token path already exists. We are quitting. Otherwise, let's see again. Otherwise, we are reading credentials. We are parsing our credentials, and we are interested in client secret, client ID, and redirects URIs. Client secret, redirects URIs, and all the other important stuff you can find in credentials. Next, we are generating authentication URL and authorizing this application by visiting this URL. Then we will paste a code from that page in our terminal, and in that way we are going to fetch our token. Let's try if we will be able to run this. But before we start, we are going to start. As you can see, we have a red sign near the Google APIs. We need to install Google APIs. Let's wait a little bit. Also, we need to install TypeScript and TS Node to run our TypeScript files. And we should be almost good to go. Let's try to run our script only first time. TS Node, utils, Google.js. Alright, it says authorize this application by visiting this URL. We are copy pasting this URL, opening it in our browser, choosing our email, and we are getting access denied because we forgot one more step. In order to bypass this authentication, we need to add our email in the list of available emails for the authorization. Let's get back to authorization sections. Authorization, Google Auth platform. Next, we want to find audience. We want to add, of course, our user, which has name of test UI auth. Don't forget about it. Save. Right, because only this user will be able to get authorization token. And let's try again. Now we should be able to do so. Okay, we are opening this URL. Open. We are choosing our user. And now, as you can see, we have successfully hasn't verified. You are given access to the app that currently being tested. You should only continue if the verb. Yes, continue. And yes, I can trust. And finally, you can see we are getting redirect to localhost, which is fine. We need to fetch our code. Let's just copy paste the code itself and get back here in our console and copy paste this code. That's it. We are done. Docker.json is successfully saved on your machine, and now we can use it for authorization and running tests everywhere you want, on CI, on different local machines. It's just one-time operation. We don't need Google TS anymore. Only in the case if you changed your user or if you just deleted authorization data, then you need to refetch the token. But for now, we are done with it. Next, we are going to start implementing our test. We have some example. Let's rename it to Signup. Fine. We are say user can sign up. User can sign up and verify your account. That's it. Next, let's open our site. As you remember, this is demo site which you can also use in your for your purposes, and let's sign up again. We are starting from this page, and in order to write our test, we can actually take a look at my script which I'm using. So in order to speed up our development, let me remove existing test, and I'm going to copy paste the test which I already have prepared and used on my own, and this is just another handy test which we can use. So first of all, user receives verification email after registration, right? We set longer timeout. We don't want default timeout. We want to have it for 2 minutes because emails usually take longer to receive, and it could some be delays in 1 minute or so. Then we are going to use our test email, as you remember, but with one tweak. Here's the twist. we are going to add random number every time we register on that page. Why? Because we don't want to use new email to register new email every time. We are going to use a hack with plus and random number. At the end, we will receive all the emails to the same Gmail user test UI Auth, but for our test site, this is going to be a new user every time. This is a tweak which I'm always using in order not to create hundreds, thousands of new emails, but just use stuff plus and random number. For Gmail, going to treat it as the same email box as without plus, and it's just super handy to use. That's it, we are using testing email. Next, we are opening our signup page. This is it. We are filling in our first name. Let me show you quickly which selector it has. First name. Next, we have last name. Same name, last name selector. Next, we have an email. Same email. Next we have a password, same password, easy, right? And submit. We need to submit our form. This is submit button, right? We are done here. Next, let's fill in form again with some random data. We don't care. Next, we need to wait for verification. We need to wait for verification form, which is here, and we want to make sure we see it, and we are expecting to have a text, check your email. Next, we are waiting for our email, and this is actually API calls which we are going to write. Let me quickly show you. First of all, let's open our Gmail file, and I also prepared code snippet for our testing purposes, and let me guide you through. First of all, we are having our token JSON, which is located in our root folder. No, it's inside utils, but let's move it to the root. Yes. And next, we are having credentials path, but for the credentials, we need to have installed section. So we basically need both credentials and token JSON in order to use it. So we have a function get Gmail client, and let me quickly guide you through the Gmail API. First of all, in order to get messages, we can use users messages list method, which is get, and here we can do some filtering in order to get message exactly as we want. We can specify from, we can specify to, we can specify topic of that message, and in order to fetch exact message as needed, we need proper get last email function. This is actually our email function which we are going to use. So we build HTTP GET request with user ID. We are specifying me, which means the same user. Query going to be to. This is very important. To will be our current email address with plus and random number. And subject, in our case, if we open our test, our subject is confirm your registration. Let's open our created email here, and as you can see, confirm your registration. This is our title. And let's switch back to get last email section. So we are having our request. Now it's time to send this request. So first we get a list of messages, and in order to get message details, we need to fetch it by ID. In our code, we are fetching list of messages results, we are making sure that we have some data and we are taking the last email, the ID of last email. Next, we are getting email details, messages get. This method, messages get, returns detailed information about message itself. As you can see, we should have response body, which instance of message, and our message contains all the information which we needed. Actually, we need the body of this message, right? And so we are looking at body and message part body. Message part body contains data itself, which will be used in our case. It's base 64 encoded string and we need to decode it. Let's take a look. We are supporting text HTML MIME type just for now. We don't care about anything else, and if it's something different we throw an error. Next, inside the payload we are getting body with data, and if it's empty we are throwing an error as well. And finally we are getting base 64 out of the data, as you can see here in our documentation, and we are returning basically our value. Finally, we have a wait for email function, which basically polls the API until we receive an email. It has a to, that's a receiver, subject contains, that's our name of our subject, timeout, we are throwing an error after 60 seconds, and we are polling every 2 seconds. That's it. Inside we have a simple while with plus timeout to the current date, and we are triggering get last email. At the end we have a promise which we wait for 2 seconds by default to be resolved. And that's it. Our get Gmail client is basically based on our credentials pass and token pass. Finally, let's get back to our test. Let's maybe get one by one. I'm start debugging the test, and I want also enable browsers. I want to use headless false. So we want to see some browser. Before running the test, make sure that you have disabled 2 projects, Firefox and WebKit. We have only Chromium for now, and let's debug our test. Let's just run it. But first, as you can see, we have sent verification email to our random number. We have followed our email, and let's just open our box. As you can see, there are 2 emails, one for our default user to me, which is test.ui.auth@gmail.com, and another one, and another one is for test.ui.auth plus random number. Google still sends you email to your current box, but our site thinks that's a different email because these are 2 completely different emails for our project, which is super good for us for testing reasons. Next, let me debug it. Actually, I want to stop first and show you some details. First, we are going to open our homepage. We are going to fill in our name, last name. We are going to fill in our email, next password, and hit create an account. Next, we are waiting for check your email message, and let's go inside of wait for email function, which is super interesting. Deadline. First of all, we have some parameters like deadline, which is timeout, current date plus 60 seconds. Now we are waiting while we get expected email, or while we'll receive an error. Let's go inside get last email. This one is interesting. Get Gmail client. As I mentioned previously, we are fetching authorization using our tokens. Next, we are fetching request to our current user with the subject confirm your registration, and we are having only one result. Let's see the result, and we can debug it here. We can see our result. It should be actually get last email. Okay, it's here, result, and data, messages length 1. That's what we expect. So we are fetching this message ID, which is in our case this ID. Next, we are firing message details with this ID, and we are checking. We received message response. Let me make it bigger a little bit. Come on. Right, so we got our message. Let's take a look inside data, and we have a payload. So we are looking for data. We are looking for payload. And inside the payload, you can see we have MIME type, text HTML, and if it's not, we'll throw an error, but it's not the case in our scenario. And now finally we have a data. It's base 64 string, which we need still to decode. And let's just see what we got. Body. At the end, we should have a body with, yes, that's actually HTML of our message. And now we are going to return the subject and the body itself. Next, yes, we have an email. Now we have a proper email. We can return it safely, and our wait for email function returns success. Now we are checking that email is not null. It contains subject, and body contains confirm your registration. Now starts an interesting part. We actually want to follow confirmation link, and here is the trick. We can insert those HTML from our email into page of Playwright. Let me show you how to do it. Actually, we are going to use setContent function. As you can see right now, we have verify email page, but just after this execution, oh, sorry, it failed because we reached our timeout. Let's run it again and stop it here. Let's stop it and debug it again. We just exceed our time expectation, which is totally fine. Now we will stop just right after set content. As you can see, this is our email, absolutely our email. If you open our email, you will see the same. And now we can safely use locator to follow this registration, confirm your registration locator. So we just use page locator, confirm your registration. We are clicking on it, and now another important step happened. As you can see, new page opened, and now our context is still at the old page. So if you try to perform any actions with page that, for example, a page has some text, it will verify this page, first one. And now we are waiting for the pages. A context.pages returns all the open pages, and we need to have length of 2. And this will be our case, of course. But it failed actually. So, as you can see, we need to switch our context to the second page. And in order to do so, we need to wait till we have 2 pages using context.pages. And we are using toPass function, which will return true only in case if we have 2 pages opened. Next, we are saying that our confirmation page is the last one, so it's the second one. And we are expecting to have exact URL onboarding, and welcome text, welcome to demo SaaS visible. It means that we successfully managed to bypass the email confirmation and using Gmail authorization. Let's run it. As you can see, in debug mode, for some reason it fails exactly in this step. No matter what I try to do, it still fails and fails there. So it has to do something with debugging and skipping at first retry, but it shouldn't be the case. As you can see, it fails inside, but usually we still have to pass, which says that does not respect custom expected amount. This is fine, but what you actually can do is you can use expect with some assertions inside and then to pass itself. It should work like a charm, and it is working, but not in debug mode. As we will try to run without debug mode, just simple run, it will succeed. We are waiting for email. We are following the link and we are on confirmation page. That's it. There are multiple ways to verify your registration, and actually that emails are coming. You can use some custom email server, for example, which has exposed API, but you can use Gmail API, which is pretty handy and easy to use. And I hope it will be useful for you, and as usual, see you next time. Have a nice day.